She was clearly the most cherished child by her mother while she was alive. Yet, after her mother's passing, she received no inheritance whatsoever, and she was even dismissed from her position within the family business. This arrangement once led the woman to believe that the lawyer must have made a mistake with the will. No company shares, no property, at all her mother. Elizabeth left her was a wish list she wrote at the age of 13, and a disc.
Hey, Bean, but I'm gonna explain, okay?
It turned out that Elizabeth had considered leaving everything to Alex, but while sorting through old things, she discovered that wish list Alex had written as a child. As she aged and gained more experience, this list was gradually forgotten by Alex, her childhood wishes and pursuits forcibly erased by the harsh realities of society. Elizabeth, wanting Alex to live life true to herself, created a game for Alex before passing away from her terminal illness.
Every time you check off something from the list, Brad is going to give you one of these DVDs, which I am going to record. And once the list is completely finished, you will get this envelope. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm not screwing around, Bean.
Initially, Alex had no interest whatsoever in completing the tasks on that wish list, but that changed when she heard her mother say she would receive a video recording after completing each task. Alex never cared about how much inheritance she would receive. Her resentment towards her mother's arrangement stemmed purely from jealousy. As her mother's most beloved daughter during her lifetime, she not only failed to gain core authority in their family business, but was even ruthlessly pushed out. Such a situation would be difficult for anyone to accept. However, upon discovering her mother had alternative plans for her, she felt a sense of relief. Although the tasks on the list required a tremendous amount of effort to complete, it also showed how deeply thoughtful her mother had been towards her. Aside from the crossed-off tattoo and driving lessons, Alex had 10 items left to accomplish. The most difficult among them was the final item, finding true love. To understand what true love meant, Alex sought advice from her friend Zoe. Zoe couldn't provide a definitive answer either. She simply told Alex to ask herself 4 questions once she found her partner.
1, can you tell him everything in your heart? 2, is he kind? 3, does he help you become the best version of yourself? 4, can you imagine him as the father of your children?
Eager to get the remaining videos quickly, Alex sought out Brad, the young lawyer her mother mentioned, the one who announced the will. She apologized for her previous attitude and officially started this game. First, Alex decided to tackle the easiest item, finishing the book Moby Dick, but she quickly realized she could no longer focus on such dry, tedious physical books, having lost the habit without noticing. Next, she tried playing the piano piece Moonlight Sonata. Her mother had loved this piece dearly, which is why she had forced Alex to learn it back then. At the time, just to avoid her mother's nagging, she had written "Learn to play Moonlight Sonata" on the wish list. Realizing she couldn't focus on the first 2 tasks, she decided to pursue something more practical, getting a job as a teacher, fulfilling her 13-year-old self's dream. This was precisely the reason behind Elizabeth's will, stipulating her dismissal from the company. But finding a teaching job wasn't easy at all. After trying several list tasks with minimal success, Alex grew too impatient to wait for her mother's videos, so she decided to start with a task requiring only courage, performing a stand-up comedy routine in a packed pub. As the executor, Brad naturally became one of the many spectators. Nervous at first, Alex stammered and utterly failed to amuse the audience, until someone in the crowd, unable to bear it, started hurling vile insults at Alex. She might not have been good at storytelling, but when it came to insults, she was a pro. The man's face visibly changed color, and the audience below cheered loudly. Clearly, the man was a regular here and not well liked by most. Finally, the performance ended, and Alex found Brad outside the pub.
Hi, Bean. I would have given anything to have seen you on that stage. Fearless kid. What do you think happened to that?
Only after seeing the content of this disc did Alex truly understand that her mother had profound reasons behind each wish on the list she wanted Alex to fulfill. Her mother wanted to help Alex rediscover the precious qualities she originally possessed. Behind the stand-up comedy performance was the lesson of bravely and fearlessly confronting the mundane world. After watching her mother's video, Alex and Brad set off on their way home. Coincidentally, they were heading in the same direction, and during the journey, they idly shared stories from their pasts. Perhaps influenced by just hearing her deceased mother's advice, Alex's melancholy feelings were amplified immensely. Secrets she hadn't even shared with past boyfriends poured out to this man she had only met 3 times. Venting her heartfelt thoughts lightened Alex's burden considerably, and she began to seriously dedicate herself to completing the tasks on the list. That very day, while reading Moby Dick on the subway, she noticed a man across the aisle whose gaze was fixed on her. Separated by a nearly 2-meter-wide passageway, they began discussing their thoughts on the book Moby Dick. The alignment in their views and the thoughtful responses each gave to the other's questions made the conversation deeply enjoyable for both. However, as the carriage grew increasingly crowded, they ultimately didn't get a chance to exchange contact information. Through persistent effort, Alex finally secured a job. Seeing she was a new teacher, the students thought they could run wild in her classroom, but they underestimated the formidable presence beneath Alex's beautiful exterior, and soon the students were sitting obediently in their seats. Just when she thought getting her mother's video was guaranteed, she didn't anticipate that the quiet student sitting at the back right would become her biggest challenge. Though the boy didn't act rebellious like the others, he paid absolutely no attention to Alex's teaching. After she tried to verbally instruct him, the boy practically ignored her authority as a teacher, picked up his backpack, and walked out of the classroom. To help Alex better understand these children's psychology, Ms. Howard took her to a psychology clinic that had a deep partnership with the school. And the psychologist there turned out to be the very man Alex had met on the subway. After briefly explaining the situation, Ms. Howard turned and left. Through Garrett's introduction, Alex learned that the boy Ezra's mother had passed away not long ago. Additionally, his family situation was very complicated. So building a good relationship with Ezra wouldn't be easy. It would require patience. Alex was immensely grateful for Garrett's information, left her contact details, and promised to take him out to dinner sometime. Before her teaching job was even stable, Alex started another item on the list, reconciling with her father. In her memory, her father Samuel had always looked down on her, directing all his energy and love towards her two older brothers. So, she had been distant from him since childhood. This continued until her parents divorced when she was 16. They picked a random restaurant in Chinatown. At first, everything seemed normal as they shared their sorrow over her mother's passing. But when the conversation turned to Alex's childhood memories, they inevitably started arguing again. After being provoked by his daughter comparing him to Elizabeth, Samuel angrily revealed a long-held secret. It turned out Alex's mother had had an affair with a musician, and Alex was that musician's child. Upon hearing this news, everyone wore a look of disbelief, and Alex guessed that Samuel's lack of care for her might also be connected to this. To protect the family business from scandal, Alex and her brothers unanimously decided to conceal this secret. The wish, reconcile with father, suddenly took on a deeper meaning in Alex's heart. Perhaps what her mother truly wanted her to do was to meet her biological father, whom she had never known. She found Brad and explained the situation to him. Not having been informed beforehand, he couldn't be certain of her mother's true intentions either. After some thought, Brad supported Alex's idea. As time passed, Alex continued her teaching job while also seeking help to find her biological father. Soon the thick book Moby Dick was also finished reading, and she obtained another disc. Most of its content contained Elizabeth's messages for her. Since their separation was now an undeniable fact, all Elizabeth could do was leave behind these discs filled with care and love for her daughter. She wasn't overly afraid of death, and decades of life had left her with no major regrets. The only thing she couldn't let go of was Alex, who had gradually become a stranger to her. As her mother's kind face disappeared from the TV screen, Alex grew increasingly eager to see the contents of the next discs. To learn Moonlight Sonata sooner, Alex sought out her high school piano teacher. Unbeknownst even to herself, she had changed significantly compared to before her mother's passing, and during this time, love quietly arrived in her life. Hoping to improve her relationship with Ezra, Alex spent her own money to buy several art books and a movie disc. Yet, to her surprise, this attempt to win him over didn't lead to Ezra calming down, but rather to him acting out even more. Finally, Alex couldn't face the child calmly anymore and sought Garrett's help once again. Partly because she hadn't yet fulfilled her promise to take Garrett to dinner, and partly because she needed his help now, Alex agreed to his suggestion and accompanied him to this business-heavy networking event. After an in-depth discussion about Ezra's situation, Garrett went to the coat check to leave his suit jacket. And just as Alex was wandering around, a familiar figure appeared in her line of sight. Through Brad's introduction, Alex learned that this woman who suddenly appeared was his girlfriend, Nina. As they were exchanging polite conversation, Garrett appeared. Coincidentally, both Brad and Nina actually recognized him. With this connection, the atmosphere of their chat became lively. From feeling awkward and restless at the start to later letting go of her inhibitions, Alex felt a sense of release she hadn't experienced in a long time. On the way back, aided by the buzz from the alcohol, Garrett boldly confessed his feelings to Alex, and Alex responded with enthusiasm. Their liking stemmed from love at first sight on the subway. But would their love truly last? Would the 4 questions Zoe once told Alex about come true in this relationship? In the following period, nourished by love, Alex completely emerged from the shadow of her mother's passing. Seeing the disc earned for completing the Moonlight Sonata task again, her mindset was now entirely different. Together with Garrett, they completed the task of doing a charity event. In the dance hall, she ran into Brad, and in front of the notary himself, she fulfilled her childhood dream of dancing in a bar. Reality seemed magical, with all good things arriving as if swarming in. Under Alex's patient and earnest teaching, Ezra was finally won over. The sketchbook drawing depicted the figure discussed in Alex's first class, and Ezra had surprisingly used text to create a portrait. After watching her mother's recorded disc, Alex wholeheartedly invested in her relationship with Garrett, no longer rushing the remaining tasks on the list. The honeymoon phase is always beautiful. Both people are good at disguising themselves, showing their best side to the other. But as time together increases, the perfect partner in each other's eyes inevitably starts to reveal flaws. Alex and Garrett were no exception. That day, meeting Brad to exchange a disc, they ended up talking on a park bench since neither had anything else to do. When asked how her relationship with Garrett was progressing, a troubled expression appeared on Alex's face. This phenomenon is actually quite understandable, or put more plainly, Garrett had some traditional masculine traits, and Alex was also a strong-willed woman inside, so it wasn't surprising their clashing personalities led to such issues in the relationship. Examples like this are common in life. The only solution is to meet halfway, frequently communicating problems and resolving them effectively. After hearing Brad's advice, Alex suggested to Garrett that, same evening, they find a time to visit her family home together. Seeing Garrett's confusion, she repeated what she had said to Brad earlier that day.
You always say that I should work harder at unraveling my feelings, so here they are, unraveled.
Thank you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you're right. I'm a really bad guest because I'm a bit of a control freak.
Garrett's honesty and sincere attitude immediately won back Alex's favor. But on the agreed day, when Garrett and Alex's friends arrived at her house, an unexpected thing happened. While Alex went to the kitchen to cook, Megan immediately went to look at the list, wanting to check Alex's progress. Megan was pointing specifically at Alex's find true love wish.
Get with the program, Garrett. She's only got till New Year's.
Although Garrett had heard Alex mention this list, he wasn't aware of its specific contents. Learning today that find true love was an item, and that it still hadn't been crossed off, couldn't help but make Garrett overthink. After 2 agonizing hours and seeing all the friends off, Garrett couldn't suppress his curiosity and asked, after we got together, why didn't you cross off the find true love wish on your list? The existence of the find true love list task inevitably made Garrett question whether Alex's love for him was pure. One party voiced their inner doubt fueled by alcohol, the other felt misunderstood. Just like that, the first rift appeared between them since they met, and for the next few days, they didn't contact each other at all. Soon, good news broke through Alex's newly clouded life. Brad, through a friend, had located her biological father. Originally, Alex intended for Garrett to take her, but their relationship was still strained, so she had to ask Brad for help instead. According to him, he and Nina had recently planned a trip to relax anyway, so taking Alex along was simply convenient. But was that truly the case? In the first half of the trip, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until Nina noticed that Brad seemed more emotionally engaged with Alex than with her. In the latter part of the trip, she pretended to sleep to test her suspicion. It unfolded exactly as expected.
God, Nina's so beautiful. She has a neck like Audrey Hepburn.
You should check out her ears.
Maybe even Brad didn't realize it himself, but being the notary allowed him to spend more time with Alex, and feelings had quietly developed. And the observant Nina, through their conversations about her, sensed this slight unease. Once this doubt took root, no matter what Brad and Alex did, it made Nina's mind race with suspicion. Nominally, this trip was her vacation with Brad. Bringing Alex was just incidental. Yet now it felt like she was the third wheel. That evening, Alex's door was knocked on. Brad was ready to take her to meet her father anytime. Carrying a mix of excitement and nervousness, Brad brought her to the bar where Johnny was performing. After locating their target, they found a seat. Alex hesitated to gather the courage to approach him, until Johnny noticed their gaze.
You have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hand it over.
What?
Yeah, I just want to take a selfie. It will last way longer than you two staring a hole through my head.
To avoid misunderstanding, with Brad paving the way, Alex finally said her mother's name. Johnny's reaction was proof enough they had the right man. After a brief exchange with Johnny, he acknowledged that Alex was his daughter. The feared scenario didn't happen. Alex's conversation with Johnny proceeded very pleasantly. From Johnny, she learned he had actually come to see her when she was little, but was chased away at the time by Alex's father, now her stepfather, Samuel. As far back as Alex could remember, she had almost no memories of peacefully coexisting with Samuel. So hearing that her stepfather had such a good relationship with her when she was young, she was stunned and could only think Johnny was lying. Because according to her assumption, Samuel didn't like her because she wasn't his biological daughter. And since Johnny had shown up back then, Samuel must have known the truth, so this situation simply didn't make sense no matter how she thought about it. After talking for about half an hour, the bar's resident band called Johnny back. Before parting, Alex asked to have breakfast together the next morning, and Johnny gave a complicated expression in response. Lost in the joy of reconnecting with her father, Alex didn't notice the subtle change in his demeanor. Led by Brad, they didn't rush back to the hotel. Instead, using celebration as a reason, they found a relatively quiet bar to talk freely about dreams and ponder life. Their joyful mood combined with the slight buzz from the drinks made them start dancing freely together in the sparsely populated room. It wasn't until late at night that they drunkenly returned to the hotel corridor. The quiet atmosphere made the mood between them feel strange. Nearly a year had passed since they met when he announced the will until today. Not only had their lawyer-client relationship remained unbroken, but they also frequently discussed the list matters. And sometimes when encountering problems, Alex would consult Brad for solutions. Everyone has an emotional side to some degree, especially after they had drunk so much. The next morning when Brad woke up, Alex was nowhere to be seen beside him. He searched around and finally spotted Alex sitting by the window in the hotel lobby downstairs.
Part of me knew he wasn't coming.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna cry.
You can, if you want to.
Alex had harbored this worry even before coming. Her mother and Samuel had been divorced for so many years. If Johnny had wanted to acknowledge her, he would have done it long ago. There was no need to wait until today. As for the specific reason, Alex no longer wanted to guess. After traveling through the night, they soon returned to New York. Before getting out of the car, Alex thought about what happened the previous night. Instantly, Alex's heart filled with guilt. Although Brad explained that his relationship with Nina had always had problems, that didn't erase her remorse. Just as she was questioning Brad why he hadn't told her earlier, Garrett passed by not far in front of the car, heading precisely towards Alex's residence. Suddenly, her thoughts became even more complicated. Then she firmly made two demands to Brad. First, forget everything that happened last night. Second, from now on, unless it's work-related, they should preferably never meet again. After saying this, she got out of the car. Alex saw Garrett at her doorstep. He had come specifically to explain and seek her forgiveness. If it had been before yesterday, she might have chosen to forgive him. But especially after the night with Brad, Alex absolutely could not choose to continue being with Garrett because it wouldn't be fair to him, especially since Brad and Garrett knew each other. From then on, she started living alone again. Time passed, and there was less than 1 week left before the deadline to complete the list agreed upon with her mother. Besides finding true love, she needed to do one more thing: have a meal together with her two brothers in her mother's backyard. This seemingly insignificant wish became the turning point that changed Alex's life. She told her two brothers about her recent journey to acknowledge her biological father. Perhaps because the atmosphere was too heavy, her brothers also shared some of their childhood feelings. They had been jealous of Alex since childhood because she received special care from their mother. Hearing her brothers' complaints, Alex's thoughts suddenly became clear. If not for this gathering, her brothers might never have confessed these things to her in their lifetime. Their relationship had long been silently strained by their mother's extra attention back then. Alex's conjecture was confirmed after meeting with Samuel. It turned out that, after learning Alex wasn't his biological daughter, he had indeed taken a long time to adjust, but he hadn't intentionally distanced himself afterward. The root of their disharmony was ultimately Elizabeth's excessive indulgence of Alex, because her two brothers also needed care and love. In a family with 3 children, everything needs balance, including parental love. Elizabeth, afraid her husband might distance himself from Alex upon learning she wasn't his biological child, gave Alex special treatment. And it was precisely because of this special treatment that her brothers began to feel out of place with their mother and sister, so their father stepped in, giving them abundant care too. The only difference was that the brothers never showed it outwardly. After reconciling with her father, Alex shared the disc earned from completing this task with her brothers. In the video, their mother confessed her past mistakes and asked Alex to tell her brothers it was never intentional. That night, they sat in different spots on the sofa and cried for a long time. Soon, the agreed deadline passed, and Alex met the executor of the will again. But this time, it wasn't Brad. Suppressing her confusion, she quietly listened to the lawyer's explanation. Although she hadn't found true love, she still received a mysterious envelope left by her mother. Opening it, she found the deed to the house filled with childhood memories, and one final disc. Returning home, she eagerly turned on the TV to watch it. In Alex's heart, the moment her mother truly passed away wasn't when the hospital machine showed her heart stopped, but when this disc began to play. Compared to the previous videos, her mother's words on this disc were filled with reluctance to leave Alex and deep concern for her future happiness. The soundless goodbye in her mother's video finally drew the curtain on her own life, while also announcing the true beginning of Alex's new life. Brad, resting on the sofa, was startled awake by the sound of a vehicle collision. Looking through the glass, he saw one of the cars was his own. Alex intended to go inside to talk, but Brad stopped her, saying in a sarcastic tone, "We aren't even friends now. A man and a woman alone in a house isn't safe."
I want us to be more. Maybe I just needed to ask myself a few important questions. 4, to be exact. Is he kind? Meaning you. No question. Like a puppy dog. 2, can I tell him everything in my heart? Well, duh. I mean, I've been telling you everything pretty much uncensored since the day we met.
3rd, can he help me become a better version of myself? The answer was naturally clear. Whenever Alex faced difficulties, Brad was almost always there to step up and help. As for the 4th question, whether to have children, that was Zoe's personal opinion, so Alex didn't ask it aloud. After her mother's passing, Alex embarked on a remarkable journey guided by a wish list. She moved from initial confusion over her mother's inheritance arrangement to rediscovering courage and facing her true self through completing the tasks. Her journey of growth and the reconciliation with her father revealed the complexity and subtlety of family bonds. The emotional entanglements with Garrett and Brad gave her profound insights into love. The list her mother left was, in reality, a trail guiding her back to her passion for life and her original aspirations. Along this path, what she gained wasn't just the satisfaction of completing tasks, but a whole new understanding of love and family. Isn't our own life much the same? Those setbacks and confusion will ultimately become nourishment for growth, guiding us to find our own path to happiness within the maze of life. She was clearly the most cherished child by her mother while she was alive. Yet after her mother's passing, she received no inheritance whatsoever, and she was even dismissed from her position within the family business.